Dave. And it's fallen to me to talk about SEO on your homepage. And this thing is better. Anyway, I have a confession. I got you here under false pretenses. This isn't about SEOing your homepage. It's about SEOing your site. But never mind. And yes, thank you. So most of these tips can be applied to your whole site, which makes this even better value for you. I don't know how many of you use WordPress for your sites or work with WordPress. A lot of what I will say is going to be a little bit WordPress specific. The talk started off being very WordPress specific, but I've generalised it. So, search engine optimization. If it's done correctly, SEO will get you high positions on Google and other search engines. If you do it wrongly, Google will come on and put a thick dark cover over the top of it and leave it to gather dust. My site for writing for SEO, I looked at the percentage of traffic coming from various sources last week. 87% of traffic came from organic search, 8% direct, people typing in the URL, 5% from social, and 3% down the links themselves. So why would you want that traffic? So that's really why we need to be interested in getting your homepage SEO. There's been a lot of changes in the requirements for SEO over the last 18 months. Google have basically tightened up a lot on what they would say is spammy practices. So you've got to be careful both what you do on your site and off your site. But the thing that basically boils down to is you've got one big focus these days, which is great content. It needs to be better than your competitors, or else they'll read your competitors' content. And you should have a reason for everything you put on your site. And you need to think about, will it appeal to your readers, potential customers, and does it fit with your content strategy? Okay, that's a big word, perhaps, a big expression for small businesses, but what you need to be clear about is what you're writing about, what key phrases you're building your content around, so you really know what you're going to do in terms of content for some considerable time ahead, rather than just coming up with stuff and sticking it on your site. My previous talk very much covered content and strategy. So if you want to go back to writing for SEO, there's a link there onto that if you didn't come. So what this talk is about is this question: what if you can make every piece of content you create work harder for you? So it's content you put on the site that Google will link into and give you some traction, and hopefully give you a nice high rank. These are basically what you need to do to your site. There are things that are fixed, if you like, and there are those that you do every time that you publish content on your site. So you need to make sure that your site is working for you technically. I'll explain these later as we go through it, but this is an overview of what SEO and your homepage is about now in 2013. So make sure your site is working for you technically. Pay attention to your title tags. So many content management systems, blogging systems, things like WordPress put the same title tags up on every page. And Google's got this bee in its bonnet about duplicate content, and that can be duplicate content within a site or duplicate content between sites. If it believes that yours is the original, or that page is the original, then it tends to ignore other sites or that have got similar content, or other pages on your site that look as if they're they could be the same. So if you can basically make all your obviously non-duplicate content look absolutely unique between your page on your site or other sites, then you'll get somewhere along the line to pleasing Google. And then within your content, H1 and H2 tags, these are headlines, headings, and write a unique description for each page. Write great content, as I said before, and get some natural links in place. I'm not going to say very much about linking these days, but suffice to say that most of what we've done for linking in the past is now hammered by Google. So I've kind of popped out by saying get some natural links in place. Okay, technical stuff. That basically means, can Google spider your content? Google sends out spiders to have a look around the internet, and basically they read your site, content of it, and if you don't have your website set up in a way that the spider can read your site, then Google won't analyse what's on it and you won't rank. My colleague Paul Silver, who some of you will know, wrote Spider Test. You can pop page URL or site URL in there, and it will tell you how easy it is for Google to search engine spiders. The last thing is, are your URLs understandable? Let's skip on quickly. Good and bad URLs. Basically, if you can't read it, there's a good chance that it's a really duff URL, and some content management systems put out horrors like this. This is actually from Google. This is a Google search that I did earlier on URLs Google doesn't like. And all these variables, all these equals and ampersands and all this jazz that you can't make sense of will potentially cause problems with your site being spidered. So you really want to end up with URLs like this. And so obviously that's the main domain and URLs Google likes. And it's very easy to set up WordPress to do this. It can be very, very difficult with certain old creaky CMSs. And it's a really good idea to use key phrases in your URLs. So what you will end up with is your URL, your title tag, your main headings, all going together and all giving a bit of leverage on the key phrase. So the basic idea is do this technical stuff once, get it sorted out, get it right to begin with, and then forget about it. Once you've got it sorted, once you've got a site that's spiderable and the URLs are nice and clean, forget about it. Use your time writing the best content you can. Title tags and header tags. These are things in the HTML that build up your web pages. Together they tell Google a lot about your content. Google reads pages much like we do. If we look at the page, we see the headline, we see the subheads. We may not bother to read the body copy. And Google's a bit like that. It weights the importance of title tags and header tags more than the main content. So they're very important. So spend time getting them right. If you've got an established site, go back and make sure these things are unique and have key phrases in them. And then going forward, make sure that you pay attention to getting them right in every post you put up. So more about page titles. Before we have tabs in browsers, the title tag was the big thing that you saw at the top. now they tend to be squeezed into tabs, and the more tabs you have open, the less you can read title tags. However, the function is that they do say something very fundamental about your page, so Google likes them. Again, check if you have a different title on each page. A lot of people write their title tags to say Blogston Jones Dairies pasteurised milk, when in fact you would be much better off putting around as pasteurised milk, dash, or carrot. Jones and Blogs Dairies, was it? I can't even remember what I said it was. Anyway, so they need to be unique, and also put your most important key phrase in it. That will give you a bit more leverage. Header tags. These again are bits of. I haven't shown you how to do this. There's a big hole in here, which is potentially, which is, I don't know whether you guys are using WordPress or an e-commerce setup or a different CMS, or you've got a hard-coded site. I don't know if you're happy with HTML or you're not happy with HTML. But all these things, the title tag, if you're not technical, the title tags and the heading tags, header tags, you can change very easily within WordPress or within a lot of CMSs. So, what this says is big heading on your newspaper, your big headline, are in H1s, H2, subheads, H3, smaller and less important subheads. It goes down to H6, I think. I don't think I've ever used more than about H3 or H4. You really only need to worry about putting your subheads in H1 and H2, because Google looks at those and gives extra weight into content in those. The other thing is, if you think about the page and the length and the way someone reads it and making what you've got to say digestible, you probably, if you're starting to need 3 or 4 different levels of heading, you've got a page that's modestly complicated. Split it up into subpages. And if you're optimizing a page around 2 or 3 key phrases, put different ones in H1 and H2 tags. Okay, this is my get out clause. Look on writingforseo.org, and these are links to particular articles that will go into this in much more detail than I have time for here. One of the things that I say to novices, don't put more than one H1 tag on a page, and the geeks amongst you who are up to your eyeballs with HTML5 will shout and say that's wrong, Dave.
It's wrong, Dave.
I second that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this piece here will tell you why you don't really have to worry about that, unless you're a geek. Is this going to go on? Right, the description. There's another bit of your HTML that says meta description, and it appears sometimes on Google's search engine results. You get the main link and the summary of what the page is about under it. Now, normally Google extracts what it's going to display itself, but occasionally it decides, for some reason that no one has actually been clearly able to explain to me, it takes the content of the description tag. So you need to write it, just in case Google does decide to default to your description tag rather than make its own entry up. They should be no more than 160 50 characters long. After that, you will cut it off or ignore it. Aim for at least 150, because if you like, it's a bit of soft sell for your content. If you do hard sell, Google won't like it. But tell people gently what the benefits and the information on the page are. But don't worry about key phrases, because this tag doesn't help SEO at all. So maybe I shouldn't be talking about this in this talk. But we tend to lump these together. We tend to lump header tags, title tags, description tags, and keyword tag all together. Description and keyword tags don't actually help SEO anymore, but description tags are well worth thinking about. Spend the 30 seconds or a minute it takes you to summarise what's on your page and pop it in there. Making things easy in WordPress. Most of these things you can set up very, very easily from the control panel. Two of these use either of these plugins. I use all-in-one SEO. Other people prefer WordPress SEO by Yoast. I don't like Yoast because it does a lot of things for you and forces you to do things in a particular way that I don't always agree with. If you're going to struggle with this, WordPress SEO by Yoast, or Yoast as most people call it, is probably a better bet. If you're nitty about what you want to do, or you want to work fast, use all-in-one SEO, because all-in-one SEO doesn't tell you what to do, it just allows you to do what you want to do. And they make adding unique title, description, keyword tag information easier. So grab one if you're running WordPress, just put it in there and start using it. So, two last things. These are two remaining things that we have that we promised, which is you need to put some real content on your homepage. A lot of sites I see are e-commerce sites. Typically they have 8, 10, 12, 26 product panels on the front with a little link and a product description in them. As far as Google's concerned, the most important page on your site is a home page, which is one of the reasons why this is called SEO, your home page. And if you're not putting some good chewy content on there, some good running content, Google is going to struggle to work out what it's about and might even start saying, okay, there's not very much content on this page, so I'm not too sure what lies beneath. And there's a fair amount of evidence that Google tends to switch off if it finds pages without any real proper content on. So you need to imagine how the Google spider will go down your site, and if it gets to pages without too much useful content on, it may fail to spider the lower pages, the pages that are a bit further in properly. So make sure you've got some copy. Sell your products. Tell why people should buy from it. Tell people why they should persevere with your site. Sell some benefits. And finally, doing all this will be completely wasted if you don't have any links to your home page. Start off by making one from your other sites. And this leads into the next talk. Publicise your content on social media and let others make the links. Excuse me. Writing for SEO works very well these days on Google. I've done no link building at all on it. No formal link building. I've just done social media on it, so there's a lot of Twitter activity and also pages on Google Plus and Facebook, and also my entry on LinkedIn. Between those four social media sites, I've convinced Google that there's good content on my site. At the moment, Google is not is welcoming social media activity. Whether it counts them directly as links depends who you talk to. I almost don't worry. Social media activity connected with your site gives you good results. So don't worry about what the mechanism is. Do it, and that will help your site. There's a wonderful screen here. If you need to know more or need help, look at writingforseo.org. There's everything I've talked about today in miles more detail on there. Sign up for my newsletter. You can do that from the forms on my site. The newsletter has got information in it that I don't put on the site. So if you're in my inner circle of people who will see the newsletter, you'll get a few more things that I don't put on the site. Or leave me a business card and I'll put it on there myself. If a quick plug for me, you can hire me for consulting, strategy or content. And if you're struggling with making your site work SEO wise, I can coach you or train you to do this stuff and more. That is about it. That's me. That's how to get hold of me. And over to you.